access training. What we've been doing is we take one of the postures and we break it down into more detail. Obviously in person it's a little easier because it's really helpful for one of us instructors to kind of demonstrate the posture, and you can take a 3D, look around, walk around, and kind of get the three-dimensionality of the postures, which is difficult to do on the webcam. But we also have this book of Nei Kung. Grandmaster C.K. Chu, who created these postures, has this excellent book that breaks down each posture as well. We have it in stock. I believe you can get it from his school, possibly on Amazon as well. But if you're interested in that, let us know. We can get this to you. I'm going to first demonstrate the posture a couple of times without saying anything, and I'm going to do it again, kind of giving what we as instructors notice in class that might be helpful for correction, and then I'll kind of compare it with what Grandmaster Chu says and see if there's anything that I missed. Okay, so no talking, just do it. I'll do it once this way, and then another time kind of changing my angle. Hopefully that was helpful. Things to think about. This is about connectedness through the arms while you're rotating, as well as a stillness and a rootedness and a connectedness in the lower half of your body. So my hips and my knees, I stay sunk, I stay tucked, my hip bones continue to face forward, as do my knees. I don't let them shift as I rotate. See the difference there? I keep my hip bones square. I rotate from the waist and torso. Okay? So that's tricky. That's a tricky distinction to learn to kind of separate rotation at this demarcation of your body. So that's the first thing. Knees and hips forward, waist, shoulders rotating. Second is losing the tuck, I would say, where it ends up being a hip hinge and then a trunk rotation. And what tends to happen there is that the bend in the knees and the sink disappears. This is stuff that we see in class pretty frequently. What I mean by that is, so correct, I still here and I rotate, versus I bend, lose my tuck, and then I rotate this way, where I'm just bent over. See the difference? So remember, Nei Kung is always going to be about learning to stay connected as a body unit and moving in a connected way. Because Tai Chi, once you start, there's no stop. Unlike other disciplines where you punch and you kick and there's a start and a stop to each move, this starts and then it just keeps going. And Nei Kung helps to cultivate, how do you get that, right? So through these postures, I'm connected here, and I think about keeping this frame and this connectedness as I consciously rotate. I don't just check out and twist. Notice this arm continues to stay rounded. What I'll see sometimes also in class is this hand goes and this hand stays. And that means I'm sort of opening from my shoulder, but I'm not rotating as a unit. Hope that makes sense. So again, correct. Body rotates as a unit, so this hand is going to come with it. Not because I'm moving my hand, but because because I'm rotating from my trunk as a unit. Versus from the side, you can kind of see I've lost my, if you know the important points of Nacon, I've lost my chest concave with this, right? Because I've cracked open my shoulder. Whereas if I move together, I'm still kind of in my embracing horse, just over here. I've heard Master Gohring refer to this sort of as a flywheel type feel to it, and that's a little hard to grasp unless you're super familiar with flywheels. But this arm turns out, not because I turn it out, but because my body is rotating. Again, it's that connectedness, and it feels like a connected, continuous gesture versus, well, I lean forward, I reach out, I turn this hand. Like, at first, obviously, we have to learn what the different parts are doing, but eventually we need to stop micromanaging what each joint is doing and try to put it into body movement. So I always like to say, spend a little bit of time thinking about what each part is supposed to be doing, and then put that away, and even if you get it wrong, just move from your body as best you can. So again, just try it with me, a couple rotations. And it's a lot to incorporate all the things I just said, so just pick one, one that's helpful that you feel like you can grasp onto. Okay. Not quite sure how close I need to be here, but you can see Grandmaster Chu, how he rotates into and out of the posture. And then he does the other side. And then he also does these side views so you can kind of see what it looks like from the side. And as I've mentioned before, at the back of this book, there's a grid that's really helpful for, it gives you how long you should hold these postures or how many repetitions you should do based on the amount of training or experience that you have. Great book. Spiral form, so it's really easy to lay out while you're training. I speak from experience. Let's see, what does he say? Make sure I didn't miss anything. The important points of this stance are tucking the pelvis, turning the toes in, and positioning the knees over the toes. It's going to be crucial in every single posture. This, not this, right? This is where knee hurts happen. This is more stable and rooted and connected. Because I say Tai Chi is excellent for your knees unless you do it wrong, and then it's really, really, really bad for your knees. So this point really can't be emphasized enough. Maintaining roundness of the arms through the upper body and the continuous tension at the point of maximum twisting are the specific goals of this exercise. So what he's meaning there is by keeping this tension, but it's not tension, it's just, imagine like there's a principle of silk reeling in Tai Chi. So it's like you'd be pulling silk from a cocoon, like enough tension to keep that coming without it tangling up, but not so much tension that you would break it. So that's that rounded, connected, just like if I'm doing this correctly, it feels like if I move this hand has to come with it. Like this, I've broken that thread. So it moves together, and yeah, it just moves together. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. Give you something to think about for your rhinoceros gazes at the moon. Fun fact, someone gave Master Gohring here years ago a little bookmark that actually has a little rhinoceros and it's gazing at the moon. Who knew? But we have it in the back of the room here. Again, if you have any questions about this posture or anything else coming up, let us know, and we'll incorporate it into the lesson. And with that, we will bow out of our Black Sash training. It's our life skill. Life skills they're modeled after a Kung Fu animal, and they have a saying and a movement that go with them. Follow along as best you can. We've been doing this one for a couple of weeks. If you have questions about it, we have videos on how to do it, or you can email us. And it's going to be super magic if you're new to this because my back is to you, so it's extra mystery. The path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. A focused mind sees no obstacles. The path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. A focused mind sees no obstacles. The path of self-mastery requires a focused mind. A focused mind sees no obstacles. So what that is, focused mind sees no obstacles. Leopard is about focus and speed. We've got 4 other ones. And at the end of each rotation, we bow out with one of them. So with that,